And kept there I am. Hello everyone. I am KMD. And my first 30 seconds of being muted was just what it was, okay? But I am here and I am live, and it's so good to be here with you. Thank God I'm here. It's been a second, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds, but I am definitely present. Glad to be present. So I was not like on top of my game, but I am back and I am in the mix. And so I'm just so glad that I can be here to share with you. I'm so glad that you're always present to share with me now or later, as long as we keep sharing, right? Isn't that what it's all about? Sharing good information, sharing good ideas, and really getting our life on track. So, when I talk about life, I mean living intentionally by faith with expectation. I really don't know a different way. And I hope that, when you think about it, if you have something different or something that you do that's different, don't be shy to share with me. And it's okay if you don't talk back because I can talk, right? Well, let's just keep it real. I'm keeping it very REAL, right? Yeah. So, welcome. And I just wanted to come and share, as I always do, and say, just keep plugging, stay in the fight. I want to just send up a heartfelt prayer for all of my people in Texas who went through that storm on last week. Oh my God. And in the state of Mississippi who went through that winter storm. Whew, I mean, it's been some rough things happening, but I thank God for all of those who just decided to stay in the fight, didn't give up, kept going, kept believing, kept trusting, and thank God for all those heroes who opened up their homes. People who allow people to share their warmth, and also for those who opened up centers who had very brilliant ideas so that we could keep each other safe. Isn't that how we do it here? We help each other, we support one another, and even when it doesn't look like we're on the same page, we're on the same page. That's what I like about where we're living. I like about what we're doing here in our country. So listen, there is so much good that we do that we don't get to hear about. We hear about a lot of bad things, and we have to know everything, right? We have to know most of everything, but there is some good that we do when we really get our creativity on board. Well, tonight I want to share with you, about what I've learned, I've lived. What do you think about that? When I was growing up, I learned a lot of things from my mother and my father too, but mostly my mother because I was raised by a single parent. And even though I was raised by a single parent, my father was right there. He just wasn't in the house. And I used to let that bother me, but then I got real about something. There were some fathers who were in the house, but they were not right there. Real talk. That's kind of tough, right? Well, hey, it's what it is. But I am just, when I sit down and I reminisce and I really think about all that I learned, if I had to share three things with you, the one thing I would say is that, I learned how to really depend on God. My mother was, she did not do a lot of talk. She was about a lot of action. She was about action, and she was a demonstrator. She believed in demonstrating, but she also, without saying it, she was a big teacher. I mean, she would think she was just telling us, giving us a little bit of instruction. Hon, it was a full curriculum, okay? It was a full curriculum because once she started, she had to let you get in it with her, and you had to get all down and get your knees in it and your hands. And she said, "Now this is what you're doing, and this is how you do it. Now listen, and you move this over here, you move that." And when she came back the next day, or the next week, or the next moment, now what she expected was that you were gonna do it just like she did it, okay? You were going to be able to get in and clean or fix or straighten or do things like she did things. I mean, she was serious. She was a serious player. And so she just really, she taught me the value of a relationship with a very serious God, a God that was loving and kind. But she just, she had that strong belief system. And she used it. She worked it. She would always make the statement, "Why you sleep?" She said, I'm up planning and I'm thinking. I'm up having a conversation. I'm like, when I was young, I was like, I don't know what my mother's talking about. I really didn't get it. But then I start to get it later because I know what that means to be up late, having a real conversation with God, right? Maybe that's not you, but then I'm probably not talking to you, right? But for those that I am talking to, you get where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So she was about that real relationship. She was about having that relationship because she would take that quiet time and she would seek her answer, and she got answers. She figured it out. She found the way through that quiet time with God, through that time of silence. And I learned how to do that. I learned how to do that. She never bragged about it. She didn't put hype into it. She was a demonstrator. She just did it. She just did it. And you know what else? I have found that has served me well when I practice what I preach, right? And so I just can look at that and I look back at how I would just imitate what I saw her do. And parents, listen, that's what kids do. They imitate what they see adults do. Whatever they see you do, that's what they're gonna do. So whatever they learn from you, that's what they live. Not what is said, not what you say, but what you do. That's where the power is. And then you know what? I learned how to have really good work ethic. My mother did not know the word lazy. She did not ever put L and ZY together. She did not believe in lazy. She believed in rising early, going to bed early, because she was going to get up. And boy, she was like the army. She would have it done before 6 a.m. I'm like, man, what kind of vitamins does she take? Really? But she was about getting things done. And I find that, I try to imitate that. Boy, I don't have her juice, right? I don't have the juice she had, but I know the value of having a good work ethic. And it's February. It's February. And if you find yourself drawing back, slowing down, not really getting involved and engaged in what you have your hands set to the plow to do, maybe let's be transparent. Maybe it's just time to reevaluate what you're doing to see if this is really what you need to be doing. Think about that. Think about that. That's something to give some thought to. And I also want to say, the last but not least thing that my mother did not allow, Lord have mercy. She did not buy excuses. No excuses. She just wants you to get it done. And if you didn't know how to get it done, she would say, well, there's a will, there's a way. There's a way to get it done. There's a way. And believe you me, remember what I told you about those late nights staying up late while we're sleeping? She's up having this conversation. That was where she was finding that way. She had the will, just had to find a way. And so in all that you do, remember, if there is a will to do it, then there is a way to get it done. And I want to say that to you because a lot of times we get lost in our struggles. We get lost in our disappointments. We get lost in what people said they would do to help us and they don't do it. Sometimes we look to others when what we need is inside of us, because God has put it in us. And so when we really just depend on what's in us and be thankful for what someone else might do, or if someone else keep their word and do, well, we just have to say, wow, kudos. That's wonderful. So glad you did. Because many times in the past, I would take a person for their word, really. And if they said it, I said, oh, they really mean it. They're going to get it done. Didn't happen like that, Holmes. But I knew one thing. If I had to keep my word to them, that was going to happen. And then you know what I had to learn to do? I had to learn to keep my word to myself. So listen, it's 2020. Don't let your 2021 I caught that. Yes, thank you for your help. Don't let your 2021 be a replica of your 2020. Let's get on board and let's work what we have to work, and let's work it until we can't. Because think about it. If you're doing some things you don't like, Maybe it's because it's something you learned early in life. And you know what the good news is that you can change that. You can change that. You know, I had some wisdom. I love thinking. I love thinking on the wise thoughts. And I want to share this as I close. See, if you give instruction to a wise man, then he'll still be wiser. But if you teach a righteous man, then what he'll do, he'll increase in learning. Sure will. So increase in your learning. Get wisdom. Get wisdom and learn the value of living what you learn that works. I said what works, everything don't work, but what works. And one thing I do know, a solid dependence and relationship on God, that does work. Yeah. I also know that a good work ethic, oh, it does work. And guess what? I gotta say it. If you don't give yourself any excuses, that will work for you too. Test that out. Let me know how it works. Share with me. I'm interested in hearing about what happens when you put yourself to the test, like I'm putting myself to the test, evaluating everything because it's still February. So that means we still have time because we have a long ways to go, right? Yeah. So listen, everybody, I'm glad to be here every time I can be here. I'm glad to share every time I can share. And it is always my prayer that what I share is a blessing to you, to inspire you to walk that walk of faith, to stay on the journey, not to give up. Don't quit. You're just too close now. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. So take care, everybody. Have a good night. God bless. And it's always my pleasure to be with you. Take care.